All right, let's see if this works. Yeah, this could be one heck of a ramble. And I'm gonna go with it. And let's see what happens. I just may turn down the music a little bit. I do want to hear some of it, just due to the fact that I don't know. I'm kind of like in a vibraphone kind of mood or whatever. I wanted to hear some vibraphone, but just a little bit, just enough not to. Anyways, this is about, I guess it all stemmed from when I was looking at here the, like trying to figure out if the cavalry, the German cavalry will be eliminated. And then that got me into starting to look at the rules about retreats, and then it's, it starts talk, and then it goes to, go to cavalry, and then cavalry's like go to supply, and I started looking into like reading up on. Okay. First disclaimer before I start going off the rails. Remember, I love this game. I'm not it's just because I've playing it for so flippin' long, and I want to make it some things understandable for me, as well as what I'm saying is I'm not bashing the rules. Like no. Not, and if ever I played against another human being, well, which I will be very soon, but I mean in person or whatever, I would never in a million years say, hey, let's do my house rules, or no, I would play, like if the other person said, no, we're playing it by the book, and you would never hear a peep from me. I would be like, yep, that's the way we're playing. No, I'm not into that nonsense, man. I'm just doing my own thing for myself because I love doing it, and that's the way it goes. So, okay, and we'll start from here. So this is, it's going to all start stemming from what I think I'm going to do for a house rule. I don't think I'm going to do it for this game, but I think from now on, I think, or for other games, I'm going to start doing it. I would love to start doing it now, darn it. But I think it's going to get rid of a lot of the uncomfortable feelings I think I've been having with cavalry and so on and so forth. And this stuff is starting to give me a bit more context of this is the other thing. I'm sorry, but yeah, I understand. They're like, well, or you could just say, for crying out loud, Chris, can't you understand what 100 kilometer? Yeah, I do. But when it starts getting into distances at like beyond or whatever, I start needing frames of reference that I understand. Yeah, you could say, Grodno to Rovno. Look, I've never been to these places. I don't know. Like, in my mind, I can't understand what Grodno to Rovno means. You see what I'm saying? And so anyways, but I can start cluing into, and okay, if you look down the map, okay, Ottawa would be in between Montreal and Toronto, but if I start doing it both ways, or like we're going off into Wonderland on one side, which obviously it's going to be Toronto because Toronto's much further away than Montreal is to Ottawa. But anyways, so the O obviously is going to be Ottawa, and these are rough distances, roughly. So Montreal is about, and this is a straight line here. Remember, I'm not talking like going down the little roads and so on and so forth. Like straight up, straight line here. About 165 kilometers, I think. So that's Ottawa to Montreal, and that takes about, I would say let's say about an hour and a half, a car ride or whatever. See what I mean? Now this is starting to make sense in my mind. So now I can see this distance in my head when I start looking at the map. I'm like, okay, because what I'm trying to do for myself here is how far can cavalry really go where I start feeling, now we're getting into uncomfortable land of, okay, the rules say you can do it, but is it really making sense for you, kind of thing? So I guess that's what I'm trying to do for myself. So I'm like, okay, this is the distance from Ottawa to Montreal. That would take about an hour and a half by car. I can see that in my mind now, is what I'm trying to say. And here from Ottawa to Toronto, is about, I think it's about 350 kilometers straight up. Remember what I said, straight up, like, and I think you can do it, I think it's about 4.5 hours or so. I could be wrong about that, but it's been a long time since I've been to Toronto. Anyways, I'll tell you one thing. You want to go to a much better city? Montreal's about, well, oops, sorry. But, oh my God, like, come on, man. Have you been to I shouldn't do that. I mean, there's probably some people, whatever. What am I saying? Some people, probably, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, you see what, when we're getting to distances, I think a 4.5 hour drive by car, and you're expecting me to start understanding. Anyways, I'm starting to now go, okay, how, like, so 8 movement points. Remember, that's what it is during the winter months. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the O, M, and the T, because now I'm going to start playing around. And like I said, this is going to be a ramble, man. I'm not, whatever. Oh, shoot. I just knocked over some German fortresses. Oh, maybe that's a good sign. I don't know. I should knock them over. They just moved, you know what I mean. They got moved around on the hexes. So, here we go with the cavalry stuff. And yet again, it all stems from this retreat. And I'm trying, and yet again, like I'm saying, I'm not knocking Dave. Like, none of this, man. It's for myself to try to get me to not feel uncomfortable about doing stuff. And yet again, I'm just playing the rules, or bending, or twisting, or breaking, or adding, whatever the hell you want to call them, to the rules. That's all I'm doing, man. Anyways, so where did I want to go with the cavalry? Yeah, because for my mind, so what I'm saying afterwards, everything after this, when I start going, this is wrong or that, it's just my interpretation. It does not mean that Chris thinks he's a freaking what? No, man. It's just, or, you know, it's my opinions is what I'm saying. They're not facts, for crying out loud. So where am I going here? I just cannot understand the logic behind section 31 concerning supply, strength. Okay, the connection between supply, strength points of a cavalry unit, and time of year, and the reason why the further away you get from a supply point during the winter months or whatever, that this equates to not being able to live off the land. Okay, so like I said, after this I could be completely wrong about every freaking assumption, man. I don't know. I'm just going with, I'm just exploring things. Anyways, so in section 31, it says cavalry units with a full strength in the upper right corner of 1 or 2 for British and German units are always considered to be supplied for both attack and counterattack purposes. So I was like, okay, why? Exactly. That's it, okay? Like, why? Like, does that mean that because they have a higher combat value that they're more efficient at living off the land? I don't know. Okay? 34. Oh, I found a little spelling mistake in 34 as well. Here it is, Mr. Dude, who screws up the rules every 5 seconds. I found a spelling mistake. Yeah, I did. But anyway, section 34. If cavalry units cannot trace a line of supply of no more, it's supposed to be than, but he has then, 8 movement points from a friendly active rail line, port, or headquarters during the months of November to June, inclusive, their combat strength is reduced by 1 point for each movement point in the length of the trace supply line, and have their movement allowance reduced to 4, 5 for German or Great Britain. Now here we start getting into, I'm like, yeah, sorry man, I think you've flipped the logic here. And this is where I'm going to go, where I go for myself, and this is why I'm making this house rule, and afterwards I'm going with it for a while to see what happens. It says cavalry units with a strength of 0 per this rule would be removed from the map during the monthly trench construction phase, and he puts it in brackets. And this is when I went, I'm sorry, man. The horses have died off. All right. So here we go with my assumptions land. Oh yeah, of course. As if I'm going to just like use a counter to start doing my little thought experiments. Give me a break. Assumption number 1. That cavalry are considered in supply during the summer months because they can live off the land. That's what I'm assuming, right? So assumption 2, or what I'm going with is, however, from what I've been reading a lot of times, and this was a big problem with them, is that cavalry, for obvious reasons, cavalry divisions were a heck of a lot more difficult to keep in supply for food and water than an infantry just a straight up infantry division. So if that's the case, wouldn't you think that the lower the strength point cavalry unit should have a better chance at living off the land than, I don't know. That's why I'm looking at it. Like I said, I don't, like, I'm just going off into worlds I don't really know too much about, but I'm trying to put A to B together and so on and so forth. So, and like I said, maybe Dave Schroeder and whatnot, the strength points are not directly connected to the ability to live off the land and therefore supply. I don't know. And like I said, these are a lot of crazy little assumptions. But then I'm like, then why do you mention that horses are die off in section 3.4 if it's not connected to this whole living off the land bit? And connected to, I don't know, it just, anyways. So here we go for my little house rule bit. And I'm now going to start trying to come up with relative distances to see if they start making sense. And maybe they make sense with his rules and I don't need to do anything funky. But I think I'm still going to do something funky because I like that. I like this added little nuance. So what I'm going to do is, no matter what time of year, there's no more of this unlimited, like cavalry are always considered in supply. None of this nonsense, man. And I like it for another reason, is due to the fact that it also makes me feel like, well, I'm also keeping it in line of, hold on, I've got to grab some water. Line of communication. Like still keeping in contact with headquarters and so on and so forth. Like, what in the world, man? Are you telling me, like, during the summer months and so on and so forth, it's like, well, okay, see you in 3 months or 4? Come on. Like, we're getting off, as far as I'm considering, we're getting off, like, veering towards, the Japanese. You hear about these crazy stories of Japanese soldiers years later showing up in the island going, I didn't know the war ended. Well, what the hell, man? This for me, it's kind of like the same thing, but just micronized, or whatever you want to call it. So what I'm going to do is, I've decided to, here, I'm going to do like a quickie test, just to see what I can, because remember, it's according to movement points, movement point allowance, so it's, not straight up, like, so we're not going to get from Ottawa to Toronto, like way the hell over there, because I mean Ottawa to Toronto would still have to deal with all that nonsense or whatever. Like I said, go to Montreal. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm breaking it up. So what did I do now? So it's going to be, so the winter months, I've broken it up again. So it's going to be, there's going to be 8 movement point allowance, 10 movement, 12, and 16. And like I said, this is just a test or whatever. And I wanted to use this for fun. So, and it looks like I can, so it says to do it from the nearest friendly port food center or something or other, or resource center. Did I write it down? I think I did, didn't I? Combat strength is reduced, blah, blah, blah. It's under the supply thing. Why the hell am I saying, well, anyways, yeah, I'll go back to it more specifically if I need to later. All right, so let's pick the spot. Why not? Why not for a lot of reasons. You're at the border. So let's see how far in my little universe, and does it kind of make sense, and we'll go that way. And I've never done it this way. I was doing it down below Warsaw because it has a heck of a lot more open terrain, and I could, whatever. Anyways, we'll stick a little cavalry dude here. And where are my little counters that I made? Oh man, this game is, or I'm sure, like I was saying, there's other games. Actually, I was just on a live stream there, a little thing, and one of the co-hosts was mentioning that, certain World War II strategy, whatever, he likes the ones that abstract a fair amount of the aircraft stuff, and I think that has been one of my hindrances, or shied away from getting into the biggie World War II games, because I'm like, yeah, I'm somewhat interested in a lot of the topics or whatever, but I'm like, I don't think I can deal with like land and air. Like, it'd just be like, whoa, man, that's just too much for my brain. Like, I just no. So I'm like, World War One. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, you don't have to deal with like that amount of, holy moly. Anyway, so yeah, got to make some more counters. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So let's go and let's pretend. So what I've done, so January, February, March, November, okay. November, December, January, February, and March are going to be the 8 movement point allowance restriction. And then I decided to do April and May and October as 10. Remember, tomorrow it may be different. I'm just playing around, man. And then, excuse me, in June it's going to be 12. And September it's 12. And then July and August it's 16. And let's see what happens. And if it stays within the realm of what I think looks good and still keeps the spirit of what I think Dave Schroeder wanted to do, or I don't know, I'm going with this, man. But like I said, this is just test number 1. Okay, so let's go with everything's beautiful. It's a fantastic summer day. Off you go, man. And that's 16 squares. So I'm just going to go as far as I can. And this is weird because I'm on a funny angle here. So that's 1, 2, 3. And screw zones of control. I'm not getting into that nonsense. We're just having some fun here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Holy smokes, man. 0112. Okay. Jeez. Okay, so that's like, come on, man. Okay, but I would say this. So this is further than I ever wanted to go, role-playing wise. I think the furthest I ever went to Vilna, and after that I was like, okay, this is getting crazy. So already I'm loving this. The 16 movement point allowance thing, to me, seems reasonable. And darn it, I should have left a flippin' Ottawa to Toronto, because that's starting to look, oh, I could still do it, because that was 350, right? So that's 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83. Wow. Yeah, I'm good with this, man. Remember, I was like, yeah, you can't go to Toronto, and yeah, okay, we're still. Remember, I was yeah, I'm still okay. I'm all right with this so far. All right, so let's say it's April to May or October, and I gotta redo. Yeah, my brain doesn't work that way. I can't go. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? Yep. So 12. Wow. That's pretty significantly different, I think. I don't know about you guys, but like what I'm trying to also, it's not just like, oh, that doesn't look excuse me, that doesn't look like much, Chris. Well, think about if you're starting to plan ahead of time and you have to start worrying about where those troops may go in 2 months' time or whatever, and you have to start thinking about zones of control. What I'm trying to say is this is all, I'm trying to like bring it all back into my head of, could this help me out? Thinking lots of thoughts like way ahead of time here. All right, so now we're going to how would you what would it, oh sorry, that was why did I, oh my god, that's 10. Did I do the 10? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's the 12. So that would have been in June or September. Okay. So now we're going to do April or May or October. My favorite month. And we're doing the 10 here. Okay, so hold on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is it's starting for me, I'm starting to click, okay, what can I do in certain months and plan ahead, and okay, I could send cavalry out from here if no one's going to hinder me, and I'm, within one turn or 4 days into Weltkrieg mode, I could be able to bring cavalry out here if I had them to, cut off a rail line. See what I'm saying? Okay, now let's do winter months. So that would be November, December, January, February, March. And that's only 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. I'm liking this a lot, man. I am liking this a lot. This is making a little more sense for my brain. Rather than this unlimited craziness. Yeah, I still got things to think about, but I don't even know. Oh, please. I hope this was on the camera. Because I didn't look at all. Looks like it did. Yeah, I'm liking this. I think this is going to help me out later on with, yeah, anyways, oh, that's the end of that. Boink.